Risky Cities is a new University of Hull project. It's part of the UK Climate Resilience Programme and funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council. In Risky Cities, we'll be using arts, heritage and learning histories to engage communities across Kingston upon Hull in raising climate awareness and building flood resilience. Estuarine and coastal cities are acutely vulnerable in the face of climate uncertainty. Something like 30 to 40% of global population lives within 100 kilometres of the sea, and coastal populations are increasingly at risk from rising sea levels and storm surges. Society needs to build resilience at the local, national and global scale. Put simply, we need to engage diverse communities and businesses in building flood resilience today and for the future. We're developing research-informed learning histories for Hull and utilising them in arts and heritage interventions. The project has 3 work packages. The first is called Living with Uncertain Waters. Hull has a long history of living with water. In fact, it's a city born of water. It was a disastrous flood in the 1250s that changed the course of the River Hull and allowed the town to be laid out on its modern site. There were repeated floods in the 1390s, the 1520s, the 1570s and the 1640s. And that's just the floods we know about at the start of the project. The town authorities spent huge amounts of time and money protecting the town from water out of place. Their efforts were recorded in the medieval and early modern bench books. These preserve details of work on flood defences, on cleaning and scouring dykes and drains, and on making repairs. Floods could, of course, be beneficial as well as destructive. They could bring rich sediments to grazing land and even help to defend the town. During the civil wars of the 1640s, the sluices were cut twice in order to deliberately flood the land around the town and protect it from attack. So, Work Package 1 explores how communities have experienced, responded to and learned to live with water over the last centuries. It examines the ways water was managed and governed, and the adaptations and local knowledge systems that have helped or hindered community resilience. At the same time, there's a diverse body of literature, poetry, plays and prose fiction focused on Hull's experiences of living with water. It's these we're examining in Work Package 2. Hull's fictions of flooding are as old as the city itself. Interestingly, the only biblical play performed in medieval Hull was about Noah's flood. In the 17th century, Hull poet Andrew Marvell also uses the figure of Noah to write about flooding in Hull, perhaps most famously in the poem To His Coy Mistress, written about the time of Hull's 1646 flood. Literature at once reflects and refracts people's lived experience of flooding, with local events often represented as global disasters. This disaster narrative tradition is alive and well in Hull today, where climate-related anxieties feed fantasies of flooded future worlds. Hull's 2017 City of Culture celebrations also featured flood plays, including Slung Low's Flood, which told the story of a world-engulfing flood in Hull. So, Work Package 2 examines the fictions of flooding that have arisen alongside and in response to experiences of living with water in Hull. Our final work package uses these learning histories about past floods and fictions of flooding to inform community engagement activities. We're working in schools and with community groups, and on 2 large-scale productions with project partners Absolutely Cultured and the National Youth Theatre. The value of combining arts and heritage as a vehicle for community engagement and to drive cultural transformations was recognised in the University of Hull's evaluations of the UK City of Culture 2017. These demonstrated that a fusion of arts and heritage can broaden engagement and institute change. Yet there's a need to write carefully researched and pitched artistic outputs that help people better live with water. Indeed, narratives based on catastrophe and rapid change may be counterproductive. Encouraging community inaction and atrophy by creating inaccurate perceptions that there's nothing we can do to defend ourselves against rising sea levels. In Risky Cities, we'll be pursuing many of the same approaches and lines of inquiry, but on a much bigger scale and with many more opportunities for communities across the city to get involved. In doing so, we assess opportunities for learning from the past to build flood resilience today and for the future. So to get involved, follow us on Twitter at risky_cities or check out our website riskycities.hull.ac.uk, where you can also sign up to our mailing list.